Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Akil, and today I'm going to give you guys a very special top 10 list. Yes, I know, as promised, it's a Monday here, Monday night, so hopefully I can get this out to you guys before the day ends. But regardless, I'm still doing another top 10 as promised, and this top 10 is going to be based on my top 10 favorite directors of all time. So, like last time, I will try to talk as much as I can. Last time I had to take it record it many times because there was multiple interruptions. So hopefully this time I can just get it right and express my full thoughts. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. As always, no honorable mentions. And before I start, I just want to say I know I don't usually say this at the start. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel because next week I might be doing another top 10, and this will be the last top 10 for a very long time, guys, in terms of part of that top 10 playlist. The last top 10 will be a special one, and it's going to be my top 10 favorite TV shows of all time, so keep an eye out for that. So anyway, guys, let's just jump right into this, my top 10 favorite directors of all time. Here we go. So at number 10 we have Joss Whedon. Now Joss Whedon is a man that many people won't know, but Joss Whedon did one movie that blew my mind, and that is The Avengers. Now, for me personally, and I'm saying for me personally again, because I have to reiterate, this man made what's still my favorite movie of all time. And I know what that sounds like. Oh, Akil, you're just a fanboy nerd, blah, 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 whatever. I've been watching all different types of movies. Like, just this year alone, I saw, so many different types of movies. But Avengers, there's something special about that film that I don't know what it is. Now, it's not a film that I constantly rewatch every few months. I'm not like that. For me, it's my favorite movie. Not just because of the rewatchability factor, what is that? But some of the scenes are rewatchable, yes, but the way he makes action and blends these characters together, all these different worlds from these different franchises, he made the impossible. This guy is also a great TV guy from what I've heard. He made Buffy the Vampire Slayer, he made Angel, he made Dollhouse. Was it uh Alias or Fringe? No, that wasn't him. That was Abrams. Yeah, but Joss Whedon overall is just a great director in terms of superhero movies. He made Avengers, my favorite movie of all time right now, and what's probably one of the better MCU sequels, Age of Ultron, in my personal opinion. I think it's better than most of the sequels that come out from the MCU and all type of stuff. I think it's better than Iron Man 2. I think it's better than Guardians 2, and I even think it's better than Ant-Man and the Wasp, but that's not really saying much. But I still also love what he brought to Justice League. But that's me. I know everyone has their own opinion. I know Joss Whedon, sometimes people are like, oh, Joss Whedon, he ruined this, ruined that, and all that. But, regardless, this guy is talented. I have to put him on the list. He made my favorite film of all time, so easily he has to be on the list. But he has to be number 10 because there's just other directors that I've seen more movies of. And I know I'm kind of cheating when he said I've seen only 2 movies of. Well, technically 3 because he did do reshoots of Justice League, but still, nevertheless, he's awesome. I love Joss Whedon. Thank you for giving us one hell of a movie in Avengers and a sequel as well, Age of Ultron. Thank you, Joss Whedon. Alright, next up is number 9. You may know his movies, but you may not know his face and the name, and that is Robert Zemeckis. This guy has done Back to the Future, Forrest Gump, Polar Express, Christmas Carol, The Walk. He has also done movies I haven't seen yet, like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. He did Contact. I actually saw Contact in school. I don't even think we finished it, which is weird. Flight, I still have to watch that with Denzel Washington, and of course Castaway, another iconic one. But it's really Forrest Gump and Back to the Future that I would say is his most recognizable and iconic work. If not, maybe Castaway and Flight now, and I don't know. Also, he just recently released his new movie, The Witches. I've heard some mixed things about that, which is kind of sad because I was actually planning on watching it, but then as time grew on, I was like, I don't know, and then now I just don't care at all. But Robert Zemeckis is great because he makes different types of movies. He's very varied as a filmmaker. Speaking of varied, we'll get to the king of varied filmmakers, in my personal opinion, later on. I think you know who that is. But he's got different types of style. He's got this unique style. he can do family films, he can do serious films, he can do animated. He's also a very experimental director, and I gotta give him credit for that. He's done like, he's in Forrest Gump, for example, he blended like realistic scenes together. Like he made Forrest Gump, like I don't know if it was him, but that movie he put Forrest Gump was like standing next to like JFK, I'm pretty sure, something like that, and then he plays around with CGI and 3D animated stuff and all type of stuff. You know, he's done Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where he did probably one of the most insane animated movie scenes of all time with Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny like in the same screen. That's crazy, but you know, I love that Robert Zemeckis just like most directors, is just at his age constantly pumping out content as much as he can. And I'm excited for his Pinocchio movie. I think I'm more excited for that than most people probably are. And yes, he actually is doing a Pinocchio movie. I know there's another one coming up next year or something from Guillermo del Toro. But Disney, this guy knows how to direct a movie. And Back to the Future is so fun. I love those movies. And fun fact, this might surprise people, I still have yet to see the third one. It took me actually a while to see those movies. And unpopular opinion, I think the second one's better than the first one. But that's just me. Forrest Gump, I would say, is a good movie, but I don't see it as one of the greatest films of all time. But hey, that's just me. Anyway, I love Robert Zemeckis. He is amazing. Alright, next up at number 8, we have a director that got me into the horror genre, so I have to put this guy on the list. And again, I'm kind of cheating, but I've seen 2.5 of his movies. Apart from Joss Whedon and this director, everyone else I've seen more than 2 of their films, so be happy about that. But the director I'm talking about is James Wan. Yes, James Wan. He created Saw, he created Insidious, and he created one of the most popular cinematic universes of all time now, the Conjuring universe, with the Nun, Annabelle, the Conjuring, Curse of La Luna, whatever. And now, apparently, we're getting Conjuring 3, which is pretty exciting for people. I still have yet to see the second one. Now, I'm putting him on this list, like I said before, because not only did he get me into the horror genre, but he made me appreciate it in a completely new way. At first I thought, oh, it's going to be scary, hokey, whatever. No. His movies, he crafts tension-filled scenes, and I love how he builds on that suspense. Like if you see the first Conjuring, it's very tension-filled at times, and I love that. It's funny. A funny story about the first Conjuring film. I got jumped. I wouldn't really call this like a jump scare. I got startled. Let's just say that startled in the opening scene, when they're talking to this couple involving the animal doll, like the moment something moves or falls down, that startled me. And that's not even part of the main story. That's saying a lot about James Wan as a director. And also even Aquaman had a few startling moments, I'm not gonna lie. He really blended his horror-esque moments into that film. But this movie, his movies are very, unique to one another. Like he'll do something like the Conjuring films, and then he'll do something like Furious 7, which no one thought he would do. And then he's also doing now he's got Aquaman 2 coming, because Aquaman was $1 billion film, which is, I still can't believe that film made $1 billion. But hey, it is what it is. But the fact that he directed Aquaman, the super movie, and he's a horror director is saying a lot. That's not the first time that happened before. Take David F. Sandberg. He did Annabelle creation and Lights Out, and he wanted to do Shazam, which just goes to show you got to start somewhere. And for them, I guess it was the horror genre. But James Wan really loves these horror movies. You can definitely tell he's taking stuff from The Exorcist and all that. But I have to say this: James Wan knows that horror movies are not just about the scares, it's about characters, and that's what I love. Like Conjuring, the first film had a family dynamic to it, and that's what I loved. And I can't wait to see Conjuring 2 whenever I get a chance to. Hopefully soon, I don't know when, but I have to watch it. And I also have to watch some of the other Conjuring universe movies, because I am interested in the universe. After seeing that first film like 2 years ago, which is crazy, excuse me, yeah, I really have to watch The Conjuring 2. But all I have to say is that James Wan is a fantastic director. I love his stuff from what I've seen so far. Conjuring was good but not great. but I had a great ride with Aquaman. Was a great ride though. I enjoyed that film so much. Yeah, James Wan's awesome. Now number 7 is a director that I'm sure everyone has on their list. If you don't, I don't know what to say to you. Steven Spielberg. This guy, I don't even have to talk much about him because everyone knows that Steven Spielberg is amazing. Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park, Jaws, E.T. I mean, okay, now I got to say some things first before I talk about some of these other movies I haven't named yet. I I'm not a big fan of Jaws. I'm sorry. I know I offended tons of people. Bring on the hate. I'm sorry, but everyone has their opinion, right? I thought Jaws was okay. Is it bad? No. Did I say it's bad? No. But it's kind of boring for me. I'm sorry. I don't know what it is. Maybe I saw it too young. Maybe if I watch it, I'm gonna have a different mindset. But even still, like seeing some of the scenes, it doesn't sound so appealing. It's just I know it's not just about the shark, but the dialogue scenes aren't the most interesting to me. I don't know why. Like I prefer watching some Scorsese scene from Goodfellas or something than this. I know, but they're two different movies. Whatever. Anyway, or directors. But anyway, I do enjoy the Indiana Jones film, but again, like the Back to the Future case, I'm probably in the minority saying Last Crusade is my favorite. I love that father-son dynamic. And by the way, rest in peace, Sean Connery. Rest in peace. A living legend, the original James Bond. But anyway, Jurassic Park, it's fun. The Lost World, I also don't mind it. E.T., funny enough, I still have yet to see the whole film. However, my favorite films from his are actually the more serious ones. Not that surprising, probably to many people. Saving Private Ryan, is great. Catch Me If You Can, I had a good time watching. I also really enjoyed Ready Player One, but my favorite film from his is actually Tintin. Tintin, the animated film, probably the most underrated film I've ever seen. No one talks about Tintin. No one, literally no one. I love that movie. It's so good, so quotable for me because I watched the cartoon series and kind of read some of the books when I was a kid. My mom introduced me to that. So yeah, but now as a 20-year-old, I can look back and say this is a great film. And also, I want to give a shout out to probably the best looking movie I've probably seen in terms of a cinematography standpoint, Schindler's List. Oh my god, if you have not seen that film, do yourself a favor and watch it. I saw it like last year, end of last year when I was overseas. It was amazing. I love that film. It's so good. It's really, really good. But I don't want to watch it again. Not just for the subject matter, but maybe for the length too. But yeah, anyway, I love Spielberg. Alright, number 6. This might piss some people off, but J.J. Abrams, I know. But he's the only one on this list I've seen all his movies of. I've seen Mission Impossible 3, the first film he actually directed, which he did do a damn good job, if I do say so myself. Super 8, which is actually the first film I think I saw of his, which was way back in the day on Netflix. Force Awakens, of course. Rise of Skywalker, of course. And I've also got his 2 Star Trek movies on 4K, as you probably remember from my collection videos. Like whenever I put them out. Star Trek Into Darkness, and although he didn't do it, Star Trek Beyond, but he did produce it, and it's under his production company. By the way, speaking of his production company, Abrams actually, his production company, Bad Robot, is the home to Westworld, one of my new favorite shows now. I love that show, and the Mission Impossible franchise, so there you go. But J.J. Abrams, man, I have to say, his style of filmmaking is very bold at times. He makes very bold movies. Mission Impossible 3, you can definitely see it's got the Abrams feel to it and all that. The lens flare, everyone makes fun of these movies because of the lens flare, but still, I love Abrams. And I don't want to spend too much time on it, this director, because I feel like a lot of people have mixed feelings. So all I'm going to say is that Abrams is a genius for what he did. He brought back Star Wars, brought back Star Trek, and say what you will about Rise of Skywalker, the man can still make a somewhat good, entertaining movie, because I liked it. I know everyone else didn't, but I liked it. So that's all I'm going to say. J.J. Abrams loves sci-fi, you can definitely tell, and I got to respect him for that. He's awesome. Yeah. Alright, moving on. Now, also, I do want to apologize if you had tapping noise. Sorry, that was me just hitting the table. I don't know what happened there. But anyway, moving on to the top 5. Let's try to speed things up a little bit. Number 5 is the Russo brothers, aka Joe and Anthony Russo, Anthony and Joe Russo, whatever you want to call them, it's up to you. started as TV guys working on Community, and then they went on to do Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame. These guys are super talented. I've seen all their movies. I saw 21 Bridges, the film they produced, and I'm also definitely going to see their next film, Cherry. The Russo brothers, when it comes to superhero movies, unlike Joss Whedon, they slowly got bigger. Joss Whedon, yes, he got bigger with Age of Ultron, but I felt like it was not like a huge difference. Winter Soldier to Civil War, that was definitely a much bigger difference. And they handled Iron Man, I think, besides Jon Favreau, the best. They really handled him the best, the character, besides Jon Favreau. Shane Black did a good job, but still, he handled the character of Tony, they handled the character of Tony Stark so well, and just built upon what Jon Favreau and Shane Black did in the past, as well as Joss Whedon, yeah. Now, I have to say that Winter Soldier is not my favorite film from them. My favorite's actually Civil War. I love Civil War. Not just because it's superheroes clashing, what is that, but there's a realistic nature to it. And dealing with the aftermath of, films like Winter Soldier, Age of Ultron, I love how they did that. The whole Civil War storyline was fantastic. And I've read the comic. It's actually a pretty good adaptation of it. And do I even have to start talking about Endgame and Infinity War? Some of the most epic films I've ever seen in my life, man. I mean, come on. Russo brothers, they're amazing. I can't wait for Cherry with Tom Holland next year. Alright, number 4. My second favorite fantasy director and probably my favorite director from the Harry Potter franchise. I gotta put some Harry Potter out there because if you saw my last top 10, you know I love Harry Potter. David Yates. David Yates, man. David Yates at number 4 on this list. I love David Yates. Order of the Phoenix. Half-Blood Prince. Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Deathly Hallows Part 2. And also, still going on today with the Fantastic Beasts movies. Not that bad at all, guys. This guy's amazing. I love David Yates as a director. He doesn't just make fancy movies. He makes fantasy dramas. That's what I call the last 4 Harry Potter movies as well as the Fantastic Beasts movies. Yes, like everyone, I was disappointed with Crimes of Grindelwald. I thought that film was okay. Like Jaws, a 6 out of 10 film in my opinion. But I still love the other 4 Harry Potter movies. You guys know this. I don't even have to talk much about this as well. I love Harry Potter. Deathly Hallows Part 2, my second favorite film of all time. I love Deathly Hallows Part 1 even. And again, I feel like I'm in the minority there. But Order of the Phoenix is so underrated, as well as Half-Blood Prince. He probably made the most underrated Harry Potter films. Like, everyone loves Prisoner of Azkaban. Some people love Goblet of Fire, and then others love Chamber of Secrets and Philosopher's Stone. But I love, he's the 3 films that I would call very underrated. Except Death Force Part 2. I think everyone loves that equally. But David Yates, man, he's awesome. He makes such great, fun, fancy films. I know his films are very dark in tone and all that, but even then, still, I love David Yates as a fantasy director, and I'm excited to see what he does with the rest of the Fantastic Beasts films. Who knows? He could direct his child. Fingers crossed that movie exists, because I'm dying to see a Harry Potter comeback. I want them to come back. I miss the Golden Trio. David Yates, just make something with those characters. I'm sorry. I know it's a lot to ask, but please, just make something. Also, I love what you did with the franchise. I know you're not watching this right now, but I just have to say, sir, thank you for ending off my childhood franchise. You are the best. Thank you so much. Now, number 3 is possibly the best fantasy director out there. I don't think anyone can disagree with me, but it's Peter Jackson. I mean, Hobbit, Lord of the Rings. I know he did King Kong, but he also produced Tintin as well, which is crazy. But he also did produce Mortal Engines, which is what I call 2018's Justice League. If you guys saw that review, I actually liked that film when I saw it, like almost 2 years ago now, which is funny how fast time has gone. But from what I've seen, Peter Jackson just loves crafting fantasy worlds and understands character development, Like Frodo, for example, his character changes so much. Aragorn, Gollum, Sam, Mary Pippin, and I believe that's the name, right? And then of course you have Bilbo, you have Thorin, Oakenshield, and then you have all the other dwarves. You have Gandalf, Hugo Weaving's character. I forgot his name. Saruman. He just does such a good job with every single character in Middle Earth. He's amazing, and I feel like if there's one person that I have to thank about the Middle Earth saga, it has to be Peter Jackson. He's amazing. And if he ever goes back to it, I would love just for him to do direct one episode of the Amazon series. Just one. I know it's a lot to ask, but just one, sir, please. Anyway, that's all I have to say about Peter Jackson. Because Peter Jackson, you know, Lord of the Rings guru. He is the Lord of the Rings guru. Alright, next up at number 2. My favorite animated director, Hayao Miyazaki. Yes, now, Miyazaki, a name not a lot of people have probably heard of, but if you watch Studio Ghibli, you know his movies. Nausicaa the Wind, Laputa Castle in the Sky, or Castle in the Sky for some, Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, Kiki's Delivery Service, Ponyo, The Wind Rises, Howl's Moving Castle, what's another one? There's Poco Rosso, that's right, yeah. Pom Poco, no, that wasn't him, that was, Isao Takahata. And by the way, I want to give a shout out to him. I might enjoy more of his movies more, but he only made a few movies. But still, I got to salute the guy as well. But Miyazaki I'm putting on the list because his style, his movies are so damn beautiful. I might prefer, again, Takahata's movies more, but Miyazaki's movies are just as good, if not better at times. Like, my favorite Ghibli movie is still Princess Mononoke. Such a beautiful film. I loved that film. And no, I've not seen every Miyazaki film. I still have yet to see Ponyo, but I love Miyazaki. He makes such beautiful films and they're so beautiful to look at. And yeah, that's real I have to say. He's a very super talented animated director and you should all watch his movies. His movies are beautiful. I don't care how old you are, his movies should be watched by everyone. And I'm not someone that would appreciate stuff like this, but guess what? I did, and that's saying a lot. So yeah. Now, number 1, you guys are probably wondering who is my favorite director. Well, I grew up in the 2000s, but there's a certain trilogy that I fell in love with, and that is the Dark Knight trilogy. So obviously you guys know who my favorite director is, right? Yes, it is Christopher Nolan. This man, oh my god, Inception, the Dark Knight trilogy, Prestige, Tenet. I loved Tenet so much. Interstellar, the weakest film, but still fine. Dunkirk was good. And I still have yet to see Memento and Insomnia, but I'm sure those movies are great, if not better than some of these others, but I love Nolan, and again, his style is so unique that most directors try to copy, but I feel like only Nolan can, knock it out of the park, and it's so great to see Denis Villeneuve recognizing and acknowledging Nolan's success. I just love that. I feel like Denis Villeneuve and Christopher Nolan are like on par, neck and neck for tied for best director of this generation. They're amazing. They're so good. But I can't put Denis on the list because I've only seen 2 of his movies. But Nolan, from what I've seen, he's amazing. I love his movies. He made Inception, one of my top 10 favorites. And he also made Dark Knight Rises, another one of my top 10 favorites of all time. Yes, I love Christopher Nolan. He is amazing. Please keep making movies, sir. Whatever it is you make, I don't care even if it's animated, I'll watch it. If you do romantic comedy, that'll be interesting though. But he said he doesn't want to, so yeah. But I'm very excited. Whatever he's got up his sleeve next, I'm sure it's going to be amazing. I'm sure it's going to be out of this world. Hopefully, tops Tenet. I would also love to see him do something a little more grounded, like what Denis Villeneuve started off his career with. I know no one did that, but still, anyway, I'm excited for what he has to offer next. Now, that's it, guys. There you have it. My top 10 favorite directors of all time. I know this took a very long time, but I couldn't help myself going in depth with some of these directors. Next week, hopefully I can get my final top 10 video put up for you guys. And that is my top 10 favorite TV shows of all time. I know you guys are probably curious to see how that goes. But anyway, that's coming next week. Oh, I've been talking for a while. I can already feel it in my voice. But anyway, thanks for watching. Tell me in the comments below who are your favorite directors. I know this list is going to be very different from everyone else's, but hey, it is what it is. As always, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and comment down below again and tell me who your top 10 favorite directors are. Thanks for watching. My name is Akil, otherwise known as the Comic Director, and I'm signing out.